Breaking news. President Donald Trump took center stage on March 4, 2026, with an address that, honestly, stunned the world. The anticipation was electric as millions tuned in, waiting to hear what the president would reveal about the escalating situation in the Middle East. He shared new shocking details about Operation Epic Fury, which was, without a doubt, the largest joint U.S.-Israeli military campaign in decades. The operation had been shrouded in secrecy until now, and Trump's announcement pulled back the curtain on months of intense planning and coordination between the two nations. The world watched as Trump outlined stunning victories against Iran's military, signaling a real turning point in the region. He described how precision strikes and coordinated ground operations had dismantled key enemy positions, shifting the balance of power almost overnight. The urgency was palpable. America and its allies had acted swiftly and, well, the results were historic. Newsrooms buzzed with updates as military analysts tried to keep up with the rapidly unfolding events. As Trump spoke, folks everywhere saw live updates and heard about jets streaking across the sky. The roar of engines overhead became a symbol of the operation's scale and intensity, capturing the attention of people around the globe. The president's tone was serious, but triumphant. He emphasized the gravity of the situation, yet his words carried a sense of pride in what had been accomplished. He described a decisive moment for freedom and credited the bravery of U.S. and Israeli forces. Trump highlighted the sacrifices made by soldiers on the ground, calling them heroes who had changed the course of history. The operation, he explained, was designed to protect global security and restore stability to a region long gripped by tension. Trump stressed that this mission was not just about military might, but about ensuring a safer future for generations to come. Viewers could sense the magnitude of the moment. Across cities and towns, people gathered to watch, some cheering, others wiping away tears, all aware that history was unfolding before their eyes. This wasn't just another military update, it marked a new chapter in the Middle East. The world was witnessing the dawn of a new era, with hopes for lasting peace and stability rising higher than ever before. Trump's speech promised not only victory, but also a path forward for peace and prosperity. He called on the international community to support this new vision, urging unity and cooperation in the pursuit of a brighter future for all. Operation Epic Fury began with a meticulously coordinated strike, the likes of which had rarely been seen in modern warfare. The suddenness and precision of the attack, honestly, left the world in awe, as news outlets scrambled to cover the unfolding events. U.S. and Israeli forces moved with lightning speed, executing a series of complex maneuvers and targeting Iran's most critical military assets with remarkable efficiency. The joint task force relied on advanced intelligence, cutting-edge stealth technology, and pinpoint precision, allowing them to surprise and completely overwhelm Iranian defenses before they could react. The scale of the operation was immense, involving thousands of highly trained troops, dozens of warplanes, and a formidable armada of ships, all working in perfect unison. Within just a matter of hours, major Iranian bases and command centers were neutralized, leaving Iran's military infrastructure in disarray. President Trump praised the seamless cooperation and trust between American and Israeli commanders, calling it a model for future alliances. He explained that the operation's timing was crucial, striking decisively before Iran could mobilize its full response or alert its allies, ensuring maximum effectiveness. The element of surprise was total, catching Iranian military leaders completely off guard and throwing their carefully laid plans into utter chaos. In his speech, Trump highlighted the unity, determination, and resolve of the coalition, emphasizing the strength that comes from international cooperation. He stressed that every move was carefully planned to minimize civilian casualties and collateral damage, with humanitarian teams ready to assist where needed. The world watched in real time as decades-old threats were dismantled in just days, marking a turning point in the region's history and sending shockwaves across the globe. President Trump detailed the extraordinary achievements of Operation Epic Fury, highlighting the swift and decisive actions taken by American and allied forces. The Iranian Navy, once a formidable threat in the Persian Gulf, was quickly neutralized, its warships and submarines left in ruins after a relentless barrage of precision strikes. U.S. and Israeli submarines, advanced drones, and stealth fighters coordinated attacks on ships, coastal missile batteries, and key naval infrastructure, crippling Iran's maritime capabilities. Within 48 hours, the Iranian Navy was rendered powerless, unable to threaten international shipping lanes, disrupt oil transport, or endanger regional allies. Air superiority was established almost immediately, with Allied jets dominating the skies and patrolling the region without resistance. Trump described how Israeli F-35s and American B-2 bombers destroyed Iran's remaining fighter jets on the ground, eliminating any chance of an aerial counterattack. Advanced air defense systems, including Russian-supplied S-400s, were disabled with electronic warfare and precision strikes, leaving Iranian skies exposed. Iranian missile launch sites were located and destroyed, preventing any large-scale retaliation and neutralizing the threat of ballistic missile attacks. Communication hubs and command bunkers were also targeted, severing lines of command and leaving Iranian leadership in disarray. Trump emphasized the operation's speed and effectiveness, noting that the world watched as Iran's military infrastructure collapsed in a matter of days. Iranian forces found themselves unable to coordinate or launch counterattacks, their defenses shattered and morale at an all-time low. The message was clear: America and its allies had total control of the skies and seas, ensuring security for the region and sending a powerful warning to any adversaries. In a dramatic shift from past conflicts, Trump addressed Iranian soldiers and officials directly. He urged them to lay down their arms and promised full immunity to those who surrendered peacefully. The president's message was broadcast in Farsi, Arabic, and English, reaching millions across Iran. For Iranian diplomats and government workers, Trump offered a second chance. He invited them to seek asylum and pledged support for those who chose reform over resistance. The administration opened channels with neutral embassies in Switzerland and Oman, making it easy for defectors to find safe haven. This outreach was a key part of the strategy. By offering protection and a path to a new beginning, the U.S. aimed to weaken hardline resistance and encourage a peaceful transition. Trump underscored America's willingness to help rebuild Iran if its leaders embrace change. The economic impact of Operation Epic Fury was felt instantly. With Iran's military threat neutralized, oil prices stabilized after months of volatility. President Trump announced new agreements with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates to boost production, ensuring a steady global supply. American warships guaranteed safe passage for tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. Political risk insurance, which was once prohibitively expensive, became more affordable for businesses. Investors responded with confidence. The Dow Jones and S&P 500 posted record gains as fears of a regional war faded. Trump highlighted the administration's efforts to keep energy markets calm and protect consumers from price shocks. The president also promised new aid packages for countries hit hardest by previous disruptions. He credited the strength and stability of American leadership for restoring economic confidence worldwide. Section 6, the Strategic Shield, safeguarding regional security. Trump reaffirmed America's commitment to the security of its allies and the stability of the Middle East. He highlighted the deployment of advanced missile defense systems in Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the Gulf states. U.S. naval task forces patrolled key shipping lanes, deterring any attempts at retaliation or sabotage. Regional partners, including Jordan and Egypt, praised the operation's swift success. Trump emphasized ongoing intelligence sharing and joint exercises designed to prevent future threats from Iran or its proxies. He promised continued support for local security forces and expanded military training programs. The message to adversaries was unmistakable. Any new threats would be met with overwhelming force. Trump stressed that America's shield would remain in place as long as necessary to secure lasting peace. Section 7. Ripple effects, U.S. impact in Cuba and Venezuela. Operation Epic Fury's influence did not stop at Iran's borders. Trump announced positive developments in Cuba and Venezuela, crediting strong U.S. partnerships with local leaders. In Cuba, reforms were underway to open markets and expand civil liberties. American diplomats worked closely with the new government, helping to modernize infrastructure and attract investment. In Venezuela, the U.S. supported democratic reforms and humanitarian relief. Trump praised the courage of Venezuelan leaders who stood up to corruption and embraced change. He highlighted joint efforts to restore power, rebuild schools, and combat organized crime. These successes, Trump argued, proved that American leadership could bring hope and progress, not just military might, to troubled regions. The administration pledged ongoing support for Latin America's path to peace and prosperity. Section 8. A new era. diplomacy, stability, and the road ahead. With Operation Epic Fury's military goals achieved, Trump turned to the future. He called for a new era of diplomacy and cooperation. The president urged Iran's leaders to return to the negotiating table, promising fair treatment and economic aid for those who embraced peace. International partners, including the European Union, India, and Japan, offered support for reconstruction and reconciliation efforts. Trump also spoke directly to the Iranian people. He promised American support for education, healthcare, and rebuilding shattered neighborhoods. The administration launched new scholarships and cultural exchanges, inviting young Iranians to study in the U.S. The path ahead would not be easy, Trump admitted, but America stood ready to help. He envisioned a Middle East where old hostilities gave way to friendship and opportunity. Section 9. Conclusion. America's strength and the promise of peace. President Trump's address closed with a powerful message. Operation Epic Fury, he said, proved America's unmatched military strength and strategic vision. By acting decisively and building strong alliances, the U.S. had restored stability to a dangerous region. The world, Trump declared, was safer and more prosperous. Oil markets had calmed, new diplomatic channels were open, and hope was returning to places once ruled by fear. The president credited the service and sacrifice of U.S. and allied personnel, promising continued support for veterans and their families. Looking forward, Trump called on Americans and the world to seize this moment. Together, he said, we could build a future of peace, prosperity, and lasting security for all.